Whew. Oh, man. Hello, everyone. What is going on tonight? We got some hot takes. Some hot takes coming in hot for everyone. Be prepared for a bit of a rant on almost every topic that we go over tonight. And I'll show you guys what we got in store in just a moment, but I just want to say thank you guys again for watching, coming out here every Sunday evening to watch these live streams. And even if you can't show up for the live stream on Sunday evening, I appreciate you guys watching later and interacting with me that way. I love doing these live streams for y'all. I love coming up with different topics, and it's a way to kind of involve you guys in some capacity, and it's also a way for me to interact with y'all and communicate with y'all on stuff that maybe I might not be able to talk about, or stuff that maybe I might not mention in my normal videos, because like most of what I do is generated around pop culture, entertainment, comic books, and so on the live stream it gives me an opportunity to discuss things that may be more societal, political, anecdotal, or like more fun stuff like that we've done prior, which is like dating advice, you know, masculinity, femininity, things like that, that I don't really get an opportunity to talk about necessarily on the main channel with my normal videos. So with that being said, thank you guys for allowing me to do that here in this space, if you want to call it that, with these live streams, because that's exactly what I love to do, is to kind of get away from that stuff every now and then and talk, maybe sometimes get more serious on these streams, or maybe sometimes like just go nuts and have a ton of fun like we've done previously, where we did like, you know, the Silkies stream where, you know, every time you donate, I think it was 25 or 50, I forget. I would have to take a shot of vodka or something. Just fun stuff like that. So these have been great, and they've been a lot of fun. Now, I will say next weekend, I most likely won't be able to do a live stream. I will try my very best to hop on here and do a Max's Man Cave next weekend. But that will be the weekend that I have a prior engagement for some part-time work. So I've already committed to that. And so because of that, that weekend might be taken up by that work. So if that is the case, I will, I'll let you guys know, of course. But yeah, anyway, if you guys like what I do here, if you guys enjoy this video of hot takes, because we're about to get into them, please like the video, share this stuff out with your friends. I know this is super cliche, but YouTube loves it when I do this. So I have to appease the YouTube deity, right? It is so good to see everyone here. We have Shieldwall, Nomi, Daniel, Jay, Smile, Jacob. You guys are my regulars, and I love seeing you all. Even the Stream Elements bot. Love to see him. Or her. Or it. So if you guys haven't already, I'm going to pull this up real quick. Boom. Okay. So this is the Miss Meow issue number 5 Kickstarter. I want to promote this bad boy because I actually recently just edited a video for Merc Magazine, which is the publishing company for this. So they should have, I wonder if this is... Yeah, so if you guys go to the Kickstarter here, the video that you guys will see on this specific page, on this campaign, this is the video that I edited for them. So I love the work that they do. Miss Meow, Death Rage, Born of Blood, these are all comics that are published by Merc Magazine. And I've had them on my channel before, so they're friends. And so, yeah, I love the fact that I was able to do this. And these covers, guys, let me just tell you about these covers. Whoo, they are fire. Absolute fire. So I am going to get, me personally, I'm looking at the Miss Meow Shikari cover. The Black Friday cover. But yeah, if you guys are worried about like hopping in, because I know it's issue 5, you can find all the back issues either at your local comic shop or through the Merc Magazine website. So it's up to y'all how you want to do that. But yeah, so like I said, I went ahead and edited this video for them, and they have some great commentary. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I just wanted to mention that because I thought, why not? Promote them, and also get you guys to kind of see what other comics are out there, and also give you guys what I've been up to, because I wanted to do that for them. But actually, they reached out to me because they were like, we have this Kickstarter. It's going out on Friday. We need a video, and I was like, I got you, fam. I got you. But yeah, it was really kind of them to reach out. Because I am not like a professional editor by any means necessary, but I do edit here on YouTube, and I have a channel, and I have a whole rig that, and streaming setup. So I guess it makes sense, right? I have the capabilities. We have the power. Paul Bussell, what's going on, man? Great to see you. And Punk Waddle, hello. The sheriff is in town. Welcome, John Baker. What's going on, dude? Good to see you. Yeah, Shieldwall. Those covers are real naughty, very sexy. But yeah. So I'm going to go through our topics tonight, and then I'm just going to beeline it and just get right into it. I'm not sure which one to start with first, but yeah, like I said, I'm going to kind of give you guys a consensus. First one is this post by Classic X-Men, and it's a post from October 1976, there was a letter that was published within the X-Men comic from a fan basically saying how he didn't like the new X-Men lineup. And I wanted to show you guys how this Instagram page handled it and how I thought it was a poor reflection on this individual, but also just a poor reflection of fandom in general. Then I wanted to get to this, which is a great, like a full-on perfect example of what fake geek girls do and the fake geek girl culture and narrative that goes around, posted by a female comic creator who says, nobody gatekept me from nerdery. I was bullied right alongside the weeby guys, like the anime guys, by the popular girls. Those bitches were always the problem. And the meme here has this girl and she goes, gross, this is for nerds and virgins. In the 70s, 80s, 90s, and aughts, early 2000s. And then she goes, gross, nerds and virgins. For, again, Star Wars. And then Superman, she goes, this will never be popular. And you see like the crowd like growing and growing. And then finally, in the 2010s, when Marvel is cool and Disney is cool and DC is cool, she goes, what the hell? These things are popular now? They should be female. Gross incel nerds, get away from my properties. The future is female. So I was like, well, that tracks. That tracks. I should have some mods in the chat to get rid of those free virtual girls chat in your city. Thank you, bots, and thank you, mods. Pop Culture Mechanic, what's going on, man? Haven't seen you around here, but thank you for being here and welcome to Max's Man Cave. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, the bot saw those covers and that's exactly what did it, Punk Waddle. So this one is an interesting one. This is where I get to the Thanksgiving hot takes. We'll get to this one. This is gonna be, oh god, you know what? I'm not even gonna touch that one because that one's for later if we even get to it. And then this last one is for that film, the film that just was released called Strange Worlds, something like that. And some of the individuals who seem to be extremely concerned with its success / its failure. So we're going to go over that as well. And you guys will see my hot takes on all of these. Let's see. Actually, we have 2 Briannas tonight, which is interesting. 2 Briannas, which I thought is ironic, I guess. But let's see. Before we get into that, like I said, guys, thank you again for being here. If you like what you hear tonight, I have the Stream Elements link published in the chat. You guys can go check out if you want to donate and circumvent the old Mama Susan train. You can, YouTube does 70-30. But if you want to 100%, go through the Stream Elements link, and that'll give you guys a better ratio, I guess, if you want to donate to the channel. But let's get right into this. So the Thanksgiving hot take that I have, essentially, and I would love to hear what Josh and Joe would say about this post, or about this idea in general. Joe and Josh are 2 of my good friends here on YouTube, and also just like good friends in life. They've actually become much more than just YouTube personalities or YouTube friends. We talk consistently either through Twitter or over the phone, and it's been great to get to know them and really kind of have these in-depth conversations with them. Now, if you guys don't know, Josh and Joe are 2 gay men that are within the comic book industry that kind of have a voice of reason within the constant, incessant madness of the current state of things, right? And their voice stands out a lot larger than a lot of these other voices because it doesn't get mired down by any political side, or it doesn't get mired down by any type of ideology or any type of, narrative. It's very much their own voice that, like I said, stands out. So I would be interested to see what their take on this would be, right? Yeah. What's going on, Dr. Rachel? I love that profile picture. You just missed us looking over some covers that look some comic book covers that just look just like that. So, but I'm going to read this off and hopefully not blow a gasket while reading this. Basically, I saw this on a friend's Instagram post, and when I say my friend, these are my best friends from Texas that posted this on their Instagram, and I was like, this does not seem like them, but it also doesn't seem like it should be something that's even needed or necessary. And I'll show you guys why. Because at the top here, it says how to be an ally to queer folks this holiday season. The individual who posts this says, it's the most wonderful time of the year to be queer, with a couple of emojis. And she goes, that being said, here's some friendly holiday reminders to be a better ally. For my queer family and community, remember, we are in this together. I love you so much. My DMs are always open. Super sweet and nice, and, there's nothing wrong with that. She is obviously trying to do something nice for the community. What is going on, Roman? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. But the fact that this just exists makes me question what are we doing? And what is this allyship that people consistently talk about? Yeah, you guys are gonna get Rachel. You guys are gonna get spicy takes for sure. What's up, Cajun? Lord Thoth, what's going on, brother? Hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and thanks again for being here. But let me read off the last one in particular. I don't know if you guys can see it. This guy right here. It says, treat them with the same respect you would any other person. What am I missing here? Like, isn't that life? Do we need a post for that? Do we need corporations posting flags and allyship and people who are going out and marching on the streets just for the sake of treating people with the same respect you would any other person? That's literally what this last one says. And when you read all of these together, each one you can boil down to, yeah, that's literally just being called, or that's literally being just a good person. So the first one says, offer to listen if they are feeling anxious about the holidays. Yeah, I would sure as fuck hope so. Soul Assassin and Ash Lauren, hello guys, great to see you. Offer to listen if they are feeling anxious about the holidays. You do that for your friends, right? If I'm an ally to someone's cause, I don't get this term ally, because like I said, if my friends that are queer, if they were to message me and go, hey dude, do you mind talking? Do you mind if I call you real quick? I'm not really feeling great. And they give me a call and they go, yeah, my family's just really close-minded and I just really don't feel like going to Thanksgiving. I'd be like, dude, fucking come over to my house. Or, hey, I am so sorry that you were feeling that way. Maybe you should just stay home and enjoy like a good movie or something. Like, that's just being a socially good, or not socially, a generally good friend or a good person. Now, we could argue that what does moralistically, theologically, what does that look like, right? Of morally good humans and people, because then it begs the question, well, what is moral? You know, where are you getting, what is the moral standard that you see? And for me, as you guys know, I'm a Christian, as a man of faith, my higher power, my savior, Christ, the big man up top, everything stems from that moral caliber and those characteristics and those traits from which he presented. And so my moral caliber and character comes from those traits. Because if your moral integrity, if your ethical behavior is coming from those who are human, then you will always be broken. And that is just that is just the nature of us as people, because we are all broken, we are all sinful. But if we look to another human for morality, then our sense of morality, our vision, our envisionment of what that is already broken. But if our envisionment is in Christ, who is a perfect being, then our morality can stem from there. So, I mean, that's a whole different discussion on a whole different topic that we could discuss on a later date. But yeah, like in some of my videos, I've said, listen, don't call me an ally, call me your friend. I would much rather be someone's friend than be their ally, because you can lose allies very quickly. But friends, you have to establish a friendship. You by being an allyship to someone is posting Black Lives Matter on your Twitter page. I know nothing about those individuals, but I'm an ally, right? I'm an ally. Now, if I want to be friends with them, I go out and I introduce myself and I go, tell me about you and your experiences. I don't want to ally a cause. I don't want to be an ally to a movement. I want to be friends with people, with individuals who don't have groupthink, right? Oh my God, I just realized we're only on number 1. And there's 3 pages of this. Ugh. So the next one says, remind them it's okay to set boundaries with family and friends. Once again, this should be normalized across the board. Across the board, with humans, with people in general, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, Indian, Middle Eastern, whatever you want to say. We're all people. Shouldn't it be okay to set boundaries with family? Now, there are, like, even in mostly white homes in the South and stuff, I shouldn't say South, because there are a lot of communities and there are a lot of Hispanic communities like El Paso, Texas area, and then there are a lot of black communities that are like Houston area. So I shouldn't even say white. And guess how I would know this? Because I've been to those areas. Not because I look at a demographic sheet. Like, I've been to those areas while I was living in Texas for college. I visited friends in both of those places. I visited everywhere in Texas. It's yeah, it's going to be a long stream. And so with that being said, no matter who you are, you should be able to have those boundaries. That's fine with family and friends. Now, what I think this is getting at is that queer individuals do not have these privileges or do not have these opportunities, which is, to me, false. Now, like I said, Joe and Josh and anyone who is who's a homosexual, tell me I'm wrong. But I see more privilege awarded to those within the LGBTQ plus community now in today's society. In modern culture, you will not see more tolerant people in modern day than anywhere else, not only in the world, but in our history. We are the most tolerant of everyone now than we ever have been. So why do we need a post that says this? Why is this not normalized? And like I said before, why does it feel like individuals that are queer have more of a privilege than others when corporations, politicians, media all promote this lifestyle? You will never see them promoting Christians. You will never see them promoting military. You will never see them promoting white culture. So why does this even need to be said when it is so popularized? Is that a word? Yeah, popularized? Sure. Like I said, it should be much more normalized. Well, I'll go back to the same thing that I said earlier. Treat them with the same respect you would any other person. The next one says, respect boundaries if they don't feel comfortable attending an event. Cool. Literally, straight people do this too, and they go, hey, mom and dad, I can't actually make it to Thanksgiving. I don't feel comfortable because Uncle Jack is a fucking asshole, and I don't want to be around him. Cool? Are we cool? All right, good. I'm not going to show up. If you are a good family member, if you are someone who listens to others within the family, you're going to understand that some people are going to be more uncomfortable, and that's fine. So that should go for people who are queer. Like if they go to a Thanksgiving event and they don't feel comfortable and they go, you know what, I'm out of here. You should be like, hey, thank you so much for coming, or thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy your time here or whatever. I'm sorry you felt comfortable. Or if they don't even show up, be like, I totally understand. Thank you for at least being open with me. Like, these are basic fucking human decency and qualities that people should know. If you've ever interacted with anyone, what I think I'm just more confused than anything, right? Yeah. Punk Waddle says, I don't want to be around Uncle Jack either at this rate, right? The real question is, why bother posting this on Twitter where it will likely only be seen? There it is, Rachel. That's the thing. This is why I was like, why even post this? Because the thing is, this is only meant for individuals who are going to already do this. This post is only going to be seen by people who most likely already do this or have these types of behaviors for allies, or to be allies. Because then, like, the next one says, reminders for family and friends this holiday from queer folks. Using gender-neutral language, my partner is not my friend. No, it's not a phase. I'm not just experimenting, quote-unquote. Just because I'm seeing a cis-hetero relationship doesn't mean I'm straight. Don't minimize or belittle various sexual practices. Like, the thing is, okay, let's bring it back to Uncle Jack, right? Uncle Jack fucking sucks. No one likes Uncle Jack. He's weird, he's arrogant, he's loud, he's obnoxious, he's just this, everyone knows him. He's a slob, and all he does, he talks about, in high school, you should have seen me in fucking high school, boy. If it wasn't for that knee injury, I would have gone pro. And he watches football, and he's got a big beer in his hand, and he's like, fuck these guys, they don't know what they're doing. If I were in high school again, oh man, you should have seen me in those glory days. Blah, blah. That's Uncle Joe, right? Do you really think that Uncle Joe is going to see this post and go, oh, you guys are right. Oh, I have been so conceited in my ways. I have been close-minded and cut off from this way of thinking. Thank you for posting this, random citizen. I now am changed and am tolerant. and my beliefs are now as an ally. Fuck no, he's not gonna do that shit. Are you fucking even kidding me? Uncle Jack is not going to change his mindset because of a stupid fucking post on Instagram. He's not. And if anyone believes otherwise, you are fucking delusional. That's my rant about Uncle Jack. Because because Uncle Jack is set in his ways. And though he is a normal person or your average person, he's most likely not going to care about leftist ideology or conservative ideology. He is just going to care about himself. And none of these practices are for an individual who wants to care about others. That's just as simply as I can put it. Uncle Jack is going to be an asshole, and this fucking shit ain't going to change his mind. So why the fuck post it if it's not to bring awareness to something? Oh, God. Sorry. We have a super chat from the gorgeous, lovely Dr. Rachel Lindberg. She says, for $5, she goes, these virtue signaling posts are the equivalent of a GPS telling you to, in 30 miles, continue on the same highway you've been going on. Oh, Rachel, you are not wrong. That's a great metaphor. I like that a lot. That's perfectly articulated. Thank you. And for that, I shall give you some men without their shirts on. Uncle Jack sounds a lot like Uncle Rico. Maybe Rico, yeah. Uncle Rico is great though. I would sit specifically, if I were in a room with Uncle Rico, I would specifically egg him on, and I'd be like, just stroke his ego, right? I'd be like, Uncle Rico, you should be fucking out there. You should be trying to go back to college, playing college football. And he'd be like, you're right. Absolutely I should. I love Uncle Rico. Uncle Jack, though, is an asshole. Yeah, Uncle Jack. That's so true. Uncle Jack is on Facebook. He's not on Twitter. Let's be real. Okay, let's finish this off because I don't want to go too much. Like, oh, I do, but it's also, like I said, it's exhausting, one, and it's just the same thing over and over and over again. It's the self-flating ego of someone who's just trying to stroke themselves off to virtue signal. The other one, extend an invitation to join your holiday if it's a safe space. Listen, if we are treating people like they are children. If I invited Josh to my Thanksgiving and someone came up to him and was like, so are you dating anyone or are you single? And he goes, you know what? I'm actually dating this gentleman over here. And someone were like, oh, well, that's weird. Josh would, knowing him, he's confident enough in himself to be like, why would you even say that? Or that's weird. Like, you're pretty close-minded. That's a little, or he would have respect enough for my family to go, well, it's just the choice I've made. Like, there's so many different responses, but all of them end up with him being confident in his own sexuality and being like, yeah, well, sorry you feel that way, but this is how I live my life. It's like if I, a conservative, went to a left-leaning household and, I said, hey, I listened to Jordan Peterson the other day, and they go, Jordan Peterson, why do you listen to him? You must be some weirdo bigot, right? I intrinsically, because I'm very, very infatuated with the man and with his theology, his philosophy, all that stuff. because I'm confident myself in my own beliefs and my understanding and my my knowledge of his speeches and stuff, I'd be like, oh well, yeah, that's just your opinion, because I have a fucking thick skin. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should all of a sudden just go out and start bullying the left or the right or straight people or homosexuals. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there are going to be bigoted people, and if they end up in your life, you have to understand how to interact with them. The world cannot shield you from these weirdos or these arrogant people. The world can't do that. Neither can white liberal women, which this individual clearly is, and she's trying to protect. We just have to protect the queer folks this season. We don't want them to get hurt. Do you know how fucking patronizing that is for you to think that you are the white savior for these individuals? That you are the white savior, white knighting coming in on Shadowfax, your white horse, and saving the day, slaying those evil conservatives. That you are so ingrained and entrenched in your own ideology that you can't look out and be like, listen, I can try and be a friend and ally to these people as much as I want, but the reality is the world isn't going to be nice, and I can't protect them from everything. And these people have these individuals, queer individuals, have a mind for of themselves, and they have a heart to themselves that may be weak, and that's unfortunate. But if they are strong, they don't need your fucking patronage or your patronizing character or your white knighting. They don't need that. If anything, they need you to stand next to them in the Shieldwall and go, I got your back. I got your 6, homie. That's what we would say in the Marine Corps. I got your 6. Hey, brother, I'm about to, go into this thing with this girl, and, or my wife. My wife and I are going through a divorce, and I could really use your help. Hey, brother, I got your 6. That's what we say. We don't say, I'm going to allyship with your divorce, and you have a safe space at my home. Fuck no. We're going to tell that dude or that woman, and we're going to tell them, hey, I've got your back in any situation. I'm going to be there for you. But I wonder what Soul Assassin, I wonder what a real wall would look like than a shield wall. Well, we can always go back to that quote from Blazing Saddles. Where the white women? Bunk Waddle, I need to watch that movie again. It's been forever. Yeah, Roman, no, that's a great point, brother. Victim status is the new hotness. It's like a trendy purse, Victimhood is like, the white liberals need to stop white knighting alphabet people, my people, Latino, and everyone else. I mean, otaku, yeah, brother. If someone stands up for you and is like, hey, brother, I got your back, you have that support system. That's awesome. But if someone says like, I'm sorry, do you need a safe space to I just don't want you to feel taken advantage of, or did this man hurt you? It's like, the fuck? I'm a grown-ass man, dude. Don't patronize me like that. Yeah, and that's the thing, Rachel, is I feel like this antagonizes people much more than it brings people together. This shit is what divides people, not, because here's the thing. If this woman truly cares about queer individuals, wouldn't she just post something like, hey, to all my LGBTQ friends, have a fantastic Thanksgiving, reach out if you need anything. Fucking boom, that's all you gotta say. That's all you have to say. It is so simple. So simple. let's see. Don't assume they are out to all family and accidentally out them. That's okay. That's tough. I mean, I don't even know how to approach that one, because you're walking on eggshells with that one, right? Ask if there are certain topics off limits around other family or friends. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, should I do that for every person that comes into my house that's either a minority or a person of color or someone with a different sexuality? Am I supposed to do that for everyone? And how do we even know that there are topics that, because there are sometimes like this comes back to one of Jordan Peterson's like ideals of how do we even know ourselves? If we can't understand ourselves, then we can't start projecting onto other people what we want them to think about us or to say about us or to, whatnot. And I'm paraphrasing a lot. Like he puts it much more eloquently and articulates it much better than I can. But if there are certain topics that are off limits, sometimes there are topics that you don't know are going to hit you until they hit you, and then you're like, oh fuck, I didn't realize that kind of brought something up in me, because we don't know ourselves entirely or intimately or exponentially. We can know ourselves a little bit, but to the extent to where you're asking someone to almost like know the future, to see into the future. For example, I was watching The Terminal List. I thought I was going to be over the moon with it, right? I was super stoked. You got Chris Pratt, you got military tactics, you got a fantastic book to pull from, you got like all this really great stuff, and like people were praising it. So I am all in military, Navy SEALs, Marine Corps, hell yeah, pro-America, I'm all about that. And I start watching it. At the end of the episode, I was sobbing. Why? Because I didn't realize that the episode had brought up a lot of I'll say PTSD from my prior experience within the Marine Corps. I had no clue that was going to come up in that show or in that episode. But guess what? I had to deal with it. Because it's my responsibility. It's not the Marine Corps' responsibility. It's not the world's responsibility to protect me from this shit. I understand that I have something that I need to work with. And, I don't want to get too personal with you guys, but that's something that I have been diagnosed with. It's something that the Marine Corps has on my disability and everything. But noticing that, I know I have to work on it. Because I don't want to be in the middle of a movie or in the middle of 4th of July just fucking bawling my eyes out. Right? I want to be able to understand myself. But there are times where I may not even understand what makes me tick. So to ask people to explicitly state all the fucking shit that they can't listen to or that offends them, it's hubris to think that. Absolute nonsense and hubris. We're not. Are we halfway through? I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have some water real quick, guys. At this rate, we're looking at like a 3-hour stream. Once again, the next one says defend them if offensive comments or questions are made or asked. Like, seriously, if they can't defend themselves, that's extremely unfortunate. I have compassion and patience and understanding for someone who may not be able to defend themselves. As a individual of faith, it's extremely important that we look out for the weak, right? The weak-hearted, the weak-minded, those who can't fight for themselves. That's what the Christian message is to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. It's the same thing within the Marine Corps as well. And that aspect of things, to to basically defend the weak is extremely important. And I'm not trying to downplay that. But if offensive comments or questions are made or / asked, you can stand up for them. Or at least have their back. That's cool. I totally understand that. This is probably one of the ones out of the, 9 on here, that I am like, okay, I understand where they're coming from. But, once again, don't go, or if you do go, understand that could happen. I just feel like these are basic necessities, basic necessary characteristics that one needs to have in place if they want to survive in life. Jay. Call me old-fashioned, but so who are you banging these days has never been appropriate conversation for a family dinner, right? That, like, I think I know what they're saying, which is like, you get the conversation where, so who are you dating? Or are you dating anyone? You know, like, so are you, when are you guys making babies? You know, I think I was talking about it on Poor Choices last week where, you know, Thanksgiving conversations tend to be very intimate, you know, because you're family, haven't seen each other in a while. And so they start asking questions like, you know, so I saw you got married, or when are you going to get married? Or like, that's normal family conversation. They're interested in you, right? They want to understand what's going on in your life. It doesn't come from a place of evil. And that's another thing that I hate about this post is that it inherently thinks that people are going to maliciously attack queer folks. That's what this post is saying, and that's what's so infuriating about this individual and why she would post this, because she's insinuating that through this post, people are inherently going to be aggressive or malicious towards queer folk. And that's just, and let me preface, because I always have to say this, there are those in the world that, yes, will do that. But the mass majority, right? It's the rule, not the exception. The rule is the vast majority of people are accepting of these individuals right now. The exception is that, yeah, there are probably still some assholes who are just like, get those fucking, people out of my house. And they're assholes. But for the vast majority of people, they're probably not going to have any problem with any of this shit. Which probably leads me to the next question, which people are going to go, well, if you don't care about it, like, why are you bringing it up? Why are you even talking about it? Because this doesn't need to be said in the first place. Because if you do treat people inherently with respect, which is the last one on here, then you're gonna be fine. And if you aren't, then you made a mistake. Fucking, well, I shouldn't say, I was gonna say sue me, but don't do that, please. Yeah, you're gonna make a mistake at some point. And individuals that are of the LGBTQ community have to understand that people aren't fucking perfect. Like, for example, the last, or one of the other ones says, avoid making gendered assumptions around dating and identity. Okay, cool. So say I do make an assumption. Okay, I made a mistake and I totally forgot and I fucked up. I'm sorry. Are you seeing anyone? Are you dating anyone? Have you met any cute girls or something? And I say that. If someone from the LGBTQ community goes, how fucking dare you? You know that I am automatically going to shut down and be like, that's not the right way to respond. It's not. Because people make mistakes, and if they're trying to walk on eggshells, if they're trying to learn all this new ideology, all this new language, all this new lecturing of this bullshit, then yeah, they're going to make mistakes. And if you don't give them any leeway or any move or room to move, then yeah, of course they're going to be angry at you. because you are responding in an aggressive manner that doesn't allow people to maybe make mistakes in a world that is so new to a lot of these ideals or a lot of this ideology. So it's frustrating to think that, avoid making gendered assumptions. You make a mistake and someone gets mad at you, like, yeah, right, that's a good response. I think I saw something, none of my friends give a fuck who's dating who. They want to yell about the state of the country, make fun of each other's branches of the military, and find new and exciting whiskey. Hey, I'm with you there, Roman. Yeah, sometimes family talk is just super boring, and it's just like, we went on a camping trip. It's like, hey, that's cool. Tell me about your camping trip. Like, some of it's just super, like, whatever. And that's the other assumption that it's making, is that these conversations are solely based off of like a sexual nature, that everyone's going to be like, so who you fucking? Like, Jesus, man, chill the fuck out. This doesn't need to be made. This doesn't need to be a post. But like I said, I think the reason why I get upset with this, and I think the reason why this like literally burst a brain vessel or a blood vessel in my brain. Brain vessel. See, it's making me crazy. I think that it's because, like I said earlier, it insinuates that we as people aren't going to do this. It insinuates that Christian conservatives need to be lectured on ways to treat people, and that's not the way to go about it. It insinuates that Christian conservatives are going to violently or aggressively attack or be misguided, misinformed on a lot of what they say to these individuals. But most of my conservative friends would do the exact thing, but of some of these posts, but instead, I guarantee you, they would be their friends. They wouldn't allyship with any of that fucking bullshit. They would just say, these are my friends, and so I'm going to treat them as such, which is pretty standard. At least I would hope so. So it's not a personal attack per se, but it very may well have been on like just a statement to Christian conservatives to go, hey, we know that you guys are fucking inbred rednecks that don't care about us queer folk. So here's a little thing to lecture you guys because we need our safe spaces. And it's like, fuck you. Who do you think you are to do that to us when we have treated so many other people with kindness and respect and compassion and understanding and patience and kindness and all this other stuff that you are taught as a Christian and as a conservative. Almost an hour talking about being friendly to 4-hour stream. Let's go. Guys, I haven't even gotten to my second topic. Whew. Jay says, another reason to have this out there is that it's a trap. You must follow this to the letter. Mistakes are not forgivable in the woke cult. That's the thing. They know that it's a trap. I think there are people that specifically, now I'm not saying this is, like I said earlier, this is an exception. This isn't the rule, but I think that there is an exception of people, an outlier of people that probably do this shit just to bait you or just to trap you in order for them to make you feel bad, in order to weaponize their supposed oppression. And I'm going to get a lot of heat for saying that. I'm going to get a lot of heat and people are not going to like when I say supposed oppression. But think about any cause in the history of the world that has had the specific backing from corporations, from politicians, from entertainment and media. No cause in the history of our universe has there been a larger push for acceptance of people of color, minority groups, different sexualities, different genders. Jay, I like that. Jesus didn't say that his followers should be allies. He said we have to love all people as he did. That's a higher standard altogether. Boom. He also said, Christ simply said, follow me. Follow me. Odin and I talked about this a little bit on one of our videos, where a lot of times Christ preached the gospel without saying a word. Without saying a word. St. Francis of Assisi teaches, one of his quotes is, preach the gospel always, and I'm going to butcher this, so I apologize, but it's something like, preach the gospel always, and only sometimes do it using words. Basically meaning, by living your life, by exemplifying the attributes of Christ, by being compassionate towards these individuals and not having to virtue signal to the world by putting up a post like this, let your actions speak for you, and let those attributes be larger than your Instagram post, essentially. But that is a higher standard. And like you said, Jay, Jesus said, follow me. He didn't say, be my ally, and I need you guys to post all this stuff for me. I don't actually want to talk to you guys, and don't listen to, or only listen to me if it relates to allyship. Only listen to me if it supports our cause. But other than that, I don't really want to see you guys. Just do your thing on Twitter. Just retweet all my shit, That's what he didn't say. Let me be very clear. From now on at holiday parties, I will need people to bring a list of offensive topics that they cannot talk about. Exactly. Rachel, another great point. So at holiday parties, offensive topics that cannot be brought up only from LGBTQ plus people. If they're straight and cisgendered white guys, don't give a fuck about those dudes. If there's a military guy who has PTSD and he doesn't want to talk about his wartime experiences, well, fuck him, I guess, right? I mean, is that what we're saying? That's what I read when I see this post. Fuck that guy over there. Because his oppression or his mental illnesses, the things that make him uncomfortable, his disabilities, the things that he doesn't want to talk about, yeah, fuck that guy. But this shit is important. And so we're delegating now what values need to be held higher than others, or we're delegating what people need to be higher than others. It's a sickness, man. It's and that's the thing. Like you said, Rachel, only if they belong to this certain group are you allowed to do that. But yeah, my creepy voice. Sorry, Roman. Yeah, I was not expecting that voice. Sorry, Zaxx. We're back to regular me now. We're back to me. Don't worry. Zaxx, you've missed a ton. Okay, I'm not even gonna read the rest of this because a lot of this is just a convoluted mess of terminology and buzzwords. Using general neutral language in convo goes a long way. So now I'm having to distinguish my language for you, and center my entire way of speaking based off of you. Okay? My partner is not just my friend. Please respect my relationship. Once again, any aspect of human beings should do this. No, it's just a phase. I'm not just experimenting. Cool. All right. People said that when I was listening to metal, and yeah, Sure. It means a lot when you ask about the person I'm seeing instead of avoiding it. Okay, so now we're validating you as well. It is my responsibility to validate you. So if I come in with a girlfriend, are you supposed to validate my existence with her? Wow, look at you guys together. You guys look so beautiful. I'm just so proud that you guys are together, and I just think you make the greatest couple. No one has to say that. If they want to, fine. But no one has to validate my existence with my partner. And now, yes, I'm saying this as a cis, hetero white man, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm just saying in general, if you want to normalize this, you're not going to be the ones that are saying, I need to be treated with much higher dignity and respect than any other person in life should be treated by. You should validate me and my existence because I am higher and mightier than you are, you know? Oh, Flaccid, I thought you were talking about the other pictures that you sent me, but we won't talk about that live. Right? Yeah, Rachel. You shouldn't need validation. Like, it's just common sense. This is... Okay. This is where I fucking lost my shit. Just because I'm in a seemingly cis hetero relationship does not mean that I'm straight. Then what the fuck am I supposed to do as Uncle Jack, who probably thinks that you're dating, that you are in a hetero relationship? And even as someone who is like allied with you, they are going to make that mistake sometimes. Sorry. I'm sounding really bigoted tonight. I apologize, but this one in particular, and there are others, but like, just because I'm seemingly cis hetero relationship doesn't mean I'm straight. Fine. Then I cannot read your mind. These individuals expect me to understand the inner workings of their own mind when they don't even understand the inner workings of their own mind. How am I supposed to understand or know that your relationship is not cis or hetero, if that is what it comes off to be? I'm colorblind, right? Like, I have really bad color blindness. The Marine Corps almost didn't take me because they were like, fuck, dude, you cannot see between these two colors. All right, understandable. I know that is something that's not a disability, you know? It's just something that genetically I don't have. So, cool. I see someone's shirt at the Thanksgiving, and I go, hey, I really like that green shirt. That's really cool. How fucking dare you? It's red. I literally see a green shirt. What do you want me to say? I'm sorry. If I literally see something that looks a certain way, how I have perceived that is going to be... Maybe that's going to be offensive to you. I apologize. But this is why this one broke me, because I was like, I cannot read minds. You just can't. Yeah. You need to work on those psychic powers, you bigot. Those MEPS doctors look for anything to block you from. Dude, I'm so glad I don't have to do MEPS ever again. Ever again. My father and brother dislike my husband. Interesting. Wow. I didn't know that. They constantly disrespect my marriage. I do not need their approval to validate my marriage. If I did something If I did, something would be very wrong. Exactly, Jay, because you are confident in yourself. You're confident in your husband. And don't get me wrong, that sucks. And I am so sorry that your father and brother don't have a particular fondness for your husband. That sounds awful. And I would never wish that on anyone. But to expect that you need the world to validate that existence is beyond my comprehension, right? Rachel, good luck with that one. Easy peasy, yeah. Oh yeah, no, they didn't get me for the bomb squad shield wall, no way. Yes, Rachel, I am very, significantly colorblind. Very much so. I think it's red and green, red and brown, green and brown, something like that. But if you guys ask me to do the test with the numbers in the colored circles, I will fail every single time. I cannot do that test. That was the one that really definitively made me realize I am colorblind as hell. The Ishihara test, I believe it's called. Oh my god, an hour in, huh? An hour in, boys, and we're only getting to the next topic. Like I said, it's gonna go 3 hours. It's gonna go 3 hours tonight. Our next topic. Well, first of all, let me conclude that segment by saying that's my hot take. It's hot. It's spicy. You guys saw how animated I was. You guys saw how much how I feel about this. I don't know. I was going through my Instagram the other day, and before we get to the next topic, I'll head on over to our main page here. But I was on Instagram the other day, and it was astounding the amount of people that I had to not delete but unfollow from my Instagram. But before I talk about that, we've got a super chat from Silverlock for $9.99. Dude, thank you so much. He says, I'm in my 50s. I used to drive a friend to his job at a gay bar in the mid 80s. I had gay friends that married before it was legal. To those with the ally thing, bite me. I am too old. But see, Silverlock, that's the great thing. You were a friend to those individuals. You weren't allying with them. You weren't trying to virtue signal to the world. They were your friends, and so you were doing things for them like any friend would, right? I love that, man. And thank you so much for sharing that, by the way. Thank you for the $9.99. But yeah, I love that. Bite me. And that's the other thing. They were doing that shit when it was like courageous, right? Like they were doing that when they were, it was like feared to ask about, marriage, gay marriage. It was not widely as accepted in the 80s as it is now. That is courage, man. You know what I mean? Like, crazy. So, thanks for the super chat, brother. This one is for you.
I bid you stand, men of the West!
I love what Punkwaddle says here, too, which is, I'm not trying to champion a cause. I'm supporting the decent human beings I know along the way. If you truly care about individuals, you're going to champion that individual. If their cause, I will support you and your cause, and that's great, and I will, but to support an individual, that is what's special, because each individual person has their own passions and strengths and loves in life, and to group people under this allyship banner is nonsense. So I like what you said on that. But I was talking about how on Instagram, I probably got rid of 200 plus individuals, like on my personal Instagram, that I knew either from high school, college, very few Marine Corps, but high school and college mainly, 200 people that I unfollowed or that I hadn't talked to in a decade, right? Like individuals who I hadn't spoken to in forever. And every single one of them was and granted, these are individuals who are my age or within my age, had the microchip put into the back of the head, and had the next system download input on their bio. None of them were individual thinkers. None of them had any thought for themselves. Every single one of those profiles that I went through had a Black Lives Matter black square on their thing, or a hey, Ukraine flag, or a pride flag, or pronouns, and that's cool. Like, you can do that. But it was astounding to me. I was just taken back by the ideology that has been so widely accepted by individuals that are my age. Put pronouns in your bio if you want. I'm not saying that, like, a lot of my friends have pronouns in their bio. That wasn't the cause of why I was unfollowing people. The cause of why I was unfollowing these people is because I haven't talked to them in a decade, like I said. And so I freaking unfollowed them because that's what this big push, this big political thing has happened, is like people have been completely unable to find common ground with anyone. With any individuals, there is no common ground. And I think that is dangerous because it will completely divide. It already has completely divided individuals of all different races, cultures, backgrounds, religions, sexes, genders, whatever you want to say. There has been a massive divide, and people are just downloading the next hardware system, AI, whatever, to try and be relevant, to stay culturally relevant, because that's popular. I was talking to Mrs. Nerdrotic not too long ago, and I was asking her, or I had posted something, and I was like, man, I just don't feel like I fit in here with these college kids, right? Like, they have completely different views than I do. They have completely different ideologies than I do. And Mrs. Nerdrotic was like, well, tell me this. Why do you want to fit in? And I was like, well, because, that's what you do, right? You fit in. Like, you try and fit in. And she's like, I've never fit in my entire life. I've been like a goth girl, or I've been super nerdy into Star Trek, and I never fit in. And I am way happier that I'm not with those people who like hated that shit. So why would you ever want to fit in with people who hate you? And I was like, Mrs. Nerdrotic, you are Confucius right now. She was spitting some philosophy that was on another level that I was like, thank you for your wisdom. And that just goes to show her experience, right? Like, and I love what she had to say about that, because it was eye-opening for me that I was like, why do I want to fit in with people who not only hate me, but will never see common ground with me? People who will hate my existence literally because I served our country, or hate my existence because I'll marry a woman. Like, it's dumbfounding that we will never, at this point in time, I don't see a pendulum swing where it swings to a point where there's commonality between people, right? I sure as hell hope so. I really hope that there's not like an over course correction where it sways like super fucking far, because then it would not be like, because then it would be too far, and then we're gonna get like crazy super far right ideologies, and no one wants that either, right? We want the pendulum to swing right in the middle. We want people to be able to understand each other, to come to a commonality, to come to common ground. Joe says, not trying to be a contrarian. I love when you're a contrarian, Joe. That's what I appreciate. Wouldn't people on the left say the same thing about you following the opinions popular on your side, and wouldn't it have some merit? Absolutely, brother. I think the reason why, and I think it's kind of twofold, right? Because when I was unfollowing people on Instagram, it felt like those that I wasn't talking to inherently happened to be the ones that kind of leaned more left. And so I don't know if it's like cause and effect, right? Was it because they were left that I unfollowed them? Or was it because I hadn't talked to them because they were left? And so you know what I mean? But like, I wouldn't consider most of my friends at the university, I would not consider them right-wing by any means. But there are some individuals at my university that I get along with really great. There's a small group of them. But like one individual, she is a Marine, or a former Marine veteran. Totally opposite side of the aisle politically. But her and I probably get along more in those classes than maybe anyone else. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think that it's the action of me getting rid of individuals who are more left on my Instagram. I think it's that because our belief systems never really matched, or because we never saw eye to eye to things, that communication just got lost over time. And sure enough, it was because those individuals leaned more to a political side that I don't necessarily agree with. And it really got established once, I would say, 2016 hit, and people really started to like, you're either for Trump or you're fucking against Trump. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. I hope that answers your question, Joe. And I appreciate you being a contrarian because it keeps me honest, right? Like, it keeps me authentic, and it gives me an opportunity to understand what is it that I'm actually saying. Is there significance? Does it have weight to it? Am I just caught up in my own ideology or my own beliefs or my own thoughts? If so, yeah, I need someone to challenge that and to ask those kind of questions. There are individuals within my classroom that do that plenty, and there are some nice debates when it comes to that, and that's what we need, right? So, I like that quote, Jacob. When the whole world is running towards a cliff, he who is running on the opposite direction appears to have lost their mind. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Punk Waddle, well, Big Gulp say, great Dumb and Dumber reference. Thank you. I love that. I love that movie. Probably one of my favorite comedies of all time. What say you? We move on to our next topic. Brianna Wu, girl. Let's enhance. Let's see here. Sorry, you guys are gonna have to hang on one sec. There we go. Enhance. Can you guys see that better? Ooh, yeah, now we're talking. Look at that. 200%. We're there. Okay. A few days ago? I don't really know. Brianna Wu, this individual. Before I say that, I don't even know where I was going with the Instagram thing or why that was even brought up. It escapes my mind at this point. There was going to be a point to that, but I totally forgot what it was. Oops. Ooh. Gulp. Anyway, by the way, Joe, if you're still in the chat, the first half of this of the show, the first hour, was basically addressing a post that was issued by an individual on Instagram, I think like some influencer. I would be very interested in what you thought about the post in general, and if you thought that it was pandering at all, or if it felt weird to you at all. I don't know. It didn't sit right with me, and I had a lot of issues with it. Mainly, like I said, it insinuates that people don't treat other people with respect, and I was like pretty fed up with it. So I'd love to get your take. But it looks like Roman of the Empire has got to go. He says, I got to roll. This was invigorating. Have a great rest of your evening. See you around the interwebs. Roman, I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving, my brother, and I will see you around the interwebs as well. Thank you for being here, as always. Oh, Nomi, maybe that's what it was. Showing your true colors. Oh, sure. You're saying I'm showing my true colors because I'm disliking my former Instagram follow. No, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that we hadn't talked, like I said, in like a decade. And so I was like, what are we getting from this, social media relationship? There's just nothing there, but I don't know. But yeah, like I said, Joe, thanks for keeping me honest, brother. Always means a lot. But yeah, speaking of left and right, this individual is very upset with the right. She calls conservatives freaks. I think it's freaks. Multiple times. To an extent that's almost humorous. I'll show you guys in a second. But we've got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Josh, coming into the chat. Welcome, brother. We just finished up on a pretty spicy topic for Thanksgiving. If you go back, rewatch the first hour after we finish up here. But I would love to get your take, brother. I think it would be really interesting to hear what you guys have to say. But Josh, welcome in. Thank you for being here. So essentially, Strange World, which is a new Disney film, came out in theaters. If you guys haven't heard of it or haven't seen it, it's most likely because it was promoted and marketed as a film that was specifically to promote diversity, inclusion, and equity. I don't ever remember it talking about the plot. I saw plenty of previews and like trailers for it, and I never really understood what the message was or like what the story was about. I didn't know who the characters were. So with that being said, Brianna Wu here, I forget why she's important, quote unquote. And I don't mean that in like a degrading way. I'm just saying I don't remember why she has such like status. I think it was either because she's like a video game programmer or a comic book writer or something like that. Flaccid says Josh is better than MVP-ness. That's a true statement. I'm not even going to argue that or refute that. That's just like objectively correct. So there wasn't a lot of advertising for this, but I have it on good authority that the marketing for this was actually more than what it was for Lightyear, which is another Disney film characterized for children, right? Well, Brianna Wu here talks about if you thought conservatives freaked out over Lightyear, they're going to shit the bed for Strange World, which is great. So what she establishes here is that because the film is going to freak conservatives out, that's why it's good, essentially. Thank you, Zaxx, for identifying, the difference between shitting the bed and not go see. Yeah, no, and you're right, though, Zaxx. Like the movie bombed, and Brianna here is going to explain in just a second why she believes it did, and that's fine. But that first portion she discusses, which is great. That little thing at the end, which is great. And that's what a lot of individuals do who tend to want to push the DEI, ideology, which is, it's always, it always ends with, that's a good thing, or which is great. But she says basically that because conservatives are going to get upset, that's why the movie's good. Which, in my mind, makes you an insane person. Which makes you mentally ill. Hey, we got an MV Penis in the chat. What are you doing here? Keep my name out your mouth. That should be MOUFFFF. Out your mouth. Amber Turd already shit the bed and nobody was happy about it. Thank you, Rachel. That's a good articulation of that as well. And it's the same thing that like the She-Hulk producers did with their show, right? Is they were like, well, this show is to dunk on the chuds. It's to troll the conservatives. It's like, we're going to take all those fans and we're just going to fucking troll them because that's what we do. We dunk on those chuds. And people are like, yes, give me more of that because, like, I just want to see people angry. Like, that's what entertainment has become as of late. It's become this cultural movement or cultural entity that exemplifies getting one side really angry and applauding the other side. And how is that entertainment? How at all is that something that we want to watch or be entertained by? She says the main protagonist is gay, older people don't find it remarkable, biracial marriage, almost no one is white, climate change metaphor, even the dog is disabled. Let's go through this one by one. Main protagonist is gay. Cool. If you want to normalize it, we're just going to have to, we're not going to promote that in films. We should just have that be a character in the film. If that needs to be normalized, if the LGBTQ community wants this stuff normalized, tweets like this don't help, right? Older people don't find it remarkable. Exactly. Why should they? And if they do, sure, they're of a different era. They're of a different time frame. They're more conservative. They're like I said, they're of an older generation. Okay, if they find it remarkable, that's their prerogative. And if they are more accepting of it, great. That's normalization. That's what you want. The next thing says biracial marriage. My best friend in boot camp was married to a black woman, and they are both lovely, and I love them to death. Biracial marriages have been happening for decades. There's nothing wrong with it. Almost no one is white. This is what I have an issue with. Why is that a good thing? Why does that make the movie inherently good that there are less white people in it? That's not a movie. That's not a story. Hey, I got a great pitch for you. You ready for this? All right, here we go. It's a movie with no white people. All right. Okay, what's the plot, though? No, there's just no white people. Right, but tell me about some of the characters. What is their motivation? They're just not white. That's their motivation. They're people of color. Yeah, okay, but what? You see what I'm saying here? Why is there are no white people in the film? Why is that a good thing? Also, I dare you to say that about any other race and not have it be racist. Watch this. For example, if I were to say Brianna Wu were to say there almost no one is black. Could you imagine if the tweet had said that? Oh, the movie is great. Almost no one is black. Holy shit, we would have a civil war on our hands. There would be news outlets going, Brianna Wu, the racist, blah, 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 on Twitter. But it's totally fine when almost no one is white. Let's just literally have a mass murdering of these individuals to get them out of our films, right? I mean, how is that a good thing about a movie? Climate change metaphor, of course, she loves the film because there's subtext and no nuance to a ideology that she agrees with. Because guess what? If it were, say it weren't climate change, say it were, I don't know, what's a political message that that conservatives want? Like maybe less immigration, or more immigration laws, or I don't know, less government control and less taxes or something. If that were the metaphor within the movie, she would be like, I hate this movie. But because it's a metaphor that she agrees with, because it's a metaphor that's politically identifies with her stances on things, oh, it's a great movie. Oh, which is great. Oh, this is great. I sound like Bill Burr. Oh, it's great. So she posted that a few days ago, right? Or a day ago, I forget. So today, or I think today, I forget, it really doesn't matter. She posts this and says, I want to share with you all a story on how far the conservative brain cancer has spread. This is going to be an amusing tale. The Disney movie Strange Worlds, unchecked harassment on Elon's Twitter, and these freaks and their obsession with gay people and children's movies. Really now. Really now. So this is what we call victimhood. This is what we call cry bullying. It's when you shovel a pile of shit onto the other side of a political movement or to the other side of an individual, and you go, hey, conservatives, y'all are going to be fucking angry about this movie. You better watch out because this movie's coming in hot. And then when conservatives throw the shit back over and they go, dude, I don't want this. Like, stop throwing your shit on me. Then the person throwing the initial shit, Brianna Wu, is going, these freaks are attacking me. These freaks have this brain cancer. There's no better exemplification of, or I don't know if that's a word or not, but there's no better way of just saying this is mental illness. This is just straight mental illness. It's someone who has no understanding for themselves, no accountability for their words or their actions or what they say or what they do. This is someone who baits others and then cries victim once addressed for what she has said. So the mental illness is on full display here at this point. So we'll read some of these tweets. Basically, she goes into saying that she was interested in the movie because it had a specific look. She said that this is what the movie was based off of on some of the images or whatever. Then she goes on to say, in the meanwhile, Disney fires Bob Chapek because of poor strategy and also because of his unwillingness to fight back against these conservative freaks. There you go, again, conservative freaks, turning Disney movies into a cultural war zone. Well, the last time I checked, every time that there is a film, whether it be Shang-Chi, which is just a superhero movie that has to be a triumph. It is so special. It is so important for these people to see themselves up on the screen. This is a cultural moment for us. This is significant for identity and political messaging for us to do. Same thing with Eternals, right? Eternals did the same shit. We are going to have people of color, people of different genders and sexualities, someone who identifies as non-binary. We're going to have all this shit, and in the end, we're going to kill the white guy, and it's going to be great. And this is our cultural significant moment. And even Brianna Wu here, she's talking about all the different, diversity and inclusion and representation. But conservatives are the one in the cultural war zone. Think about that one for a second. And please, chat, debate me, and truly, honestly, if there's something that I say that sounds ridiculous or that is, not cohesive, then let me know, because I'm reading this from what she posted the other day, right? She also says that Bob Chapek did nothing about Rob DeSantis and his Don't Say Gay bill. He buried Lightyear, at least from what she believes, because of a peck on the cheek by a lesbian couple. And predictably, so she doesn't know, this isn't facts, but predictably, there was no promotion for Strange World. Which, like I said, I have it on good authority that Strange World was actually much more heavily promoted than Lightyear. And then she goes, dooming it to bomb. Basically, he's destroying Disney to satisfy the conservative freak show. There you go, freaks again. With a bizarre sexual fixation on children's movies. Once again. And, well, okay, I'll finish the tweet. So there I am on opening night. I don't particularly go watch children's movies. Weird, because you literally just said that conservatives are the freak show that have this bizarre fixation on children's movies. So then why the fuck are you watching a children's movie if you don't have a particular fixation on, like, you know what I mean? Like, the contradictions in this thread continue to just blow my mind. I don't particularly like children's movies, but I'm here for the cool sci-fi aesthetic. Great, cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I was actually planning on going to see the movie too. I love sci-fi. I think, you guys know me, Warhammer 40k is like one of my favorite universes because of the sci-fi aspect of things, right? But it's a children's film. Why would I have any incentive to go? Maybe it has adult themes. Like Toy Story has adult themes, or Hercules has adult themes. There are children's movies that have adult themes, but ultimately, it's meant for children. It's promoted to children. It's categorized as a children's movie. So she goes on to say, as I'm watching it, I Not Strange World has a lot of diverse... I notice. I think that's what she's trying to say. I notice that Strange World has a lot of diverse representation. I know it's going to turn into the next Lightyear. I send this tweet after the movie, and a bunch of conservative nutcase media covers my tweet. Okay? That's literally just... You mention conservatives in your tweet. If you're not going to be held accountable for the things that you say, then there's no reason for you to post it. If you thought conservatives freaked out over Lightyear, and then she goes, and then a bunch of conservatives came after me. I wonder why. When you call them out specifically in your tweet saying, oh, they're going to fucking freak out about this one. And then they go, yeah, well, we have something to say about this too. And then you go, you guys are just a bunch of nutcases. Why are you attacking me? Why are you coming at me? I didn't do anything. You have no self-awareness. You have no attentiveness to your surroundings. Or the significance in which you play and the words that you speak or the things that you type. There's no accountability here. So I send this tweet after the movie. She's acting like she's like, I didn't really do anything. I just sent this tweet. It doesn't matter to me. She then goes on to say, so far the last week, anytime I post anything, Thanksgiving, speedrunning, my dog, I have these conservative sexual freaks obsessing with children's movies in my mentions. She goes, so two things. I'm an adult. I don't have kids. You are drastically overestimating my emotional investment in Strange World. Weird. Really weird when you say that you have a low emotional investment in Strange World. It seems like you loved the film, though. you seems like you have a pretty significant attachment when your tweet literally says, oh my God, it's got this. It's going to blow conservatives' minds. I cannot wait to see that. It's great. This is great. It's also got this. It's got, this couple and this person of color and this person's gay and this. It is just, it's amazing. It's culturally, it's beautiful. This is what Disney needs to do, blah, blah. But I have no emotional investment in it. None whatsoever. Once again, contradicting her own fucking statement made literally hours before. And this is constantly what we see within the comic book industry too, right? Or within Marvel movies. It's the same thing where you say, this movie is going to change lives. It's going to save lives. It's a triumph. It is a absolute masterpiece. And then when people go, hey, I didn't actually really like it. And they respond with like, whoa, dude, it doesn't really matter. Like, why are you getting so emotional about this? Jeez, it doesn't really matter. Fuck that. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. It is the most, and the reason why is because it is the most disingenuous way to interact with people possible. Bar none, hands down, the most disingenuous way of interacting with individuals. By saying, it's the best thing ever. And then someone going, well, it's not that great. And then them responding to be like, whoa, don't like, I don't have any emotional investment in this. Like, why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? Fucking disingenuous assholes. Every single one of them. And at this point, I'm wondering if they do it intentionally, right? I wonder if they do it to bait, or if I wonder if that's just who they are as individuals. And then she goes on and says that we're indistinguishable from zombies from 28 Days Later. The conservative mind virus has killed you. The war zone in my mentions over a children's movie. There's no conservative ideology anymore beyond hating minorities. Your fixation on children is very strange. Write a fucking article about that, ya freaks. Once again, mentioning us as freaks. So there you go. I know literally nothing about this movie. But you bet your ass that one, I'm most likely not going to see it because it's a children's movie. It's bathed in virtue signaling and pandering. It's gotten all the wrong press. It was marketed to people who don't actually want good story. There are plenty of reasons. I don't want to support Disney. I can keep my money in my pocket and probably go buy a comic book. Like, there's so many reasons why I'm not going to go see this. And this also solidifies that for me. It's... At this point, I wonder when we are going to get a film that strays away from this. And when these type of comments or when these type of arguments are going to diminish, right? Because I feel like literally anything just exists, and then all of a sudden it's like you get comments like this. People being divided, people in like specifically, liking a film because it angers a different group of people, or liking a show because it dunks on the chuds. Like, how is that any measure of how a film or a show should be enjoyed or liked? So, I don't know. It's beyond me. It is absolutely mind-boggling. But then again, this all comes from this individual here. So, take that with what you will. This is horrifying. I'm not going to say anything. But there you have it. All right, do you guys want to go over? I've got 3 topics that I didn't even touch, but I've got 3 more topics. We definitely won't get to all of them. Do you want to go over fake geek girls, or do you want to go over why sex workers are more brave and deserve more praise than United States Marines? Because that's the hottest take I've ever heard. That's the hottest take that literally anyone has ever heard. If you thought the last pair of tweets were the definition of mental illness, this is true depraved, depressed, low level of society, spicy hot take. So yeah, we did Brianna. Fake geek girls, you know what? I might actually I want to go over this in a video at some point. I might not want to do it over a live stream because there's a ton to say, but I think it would be better suited for a video with with an individual who I can talk with. I think it'd be a fun dynamic, and it's something that is like really frustrating, but also a very funny phenomenon. Flaccid. Marines are trash, some Marines are trash. Mr. Snicket, what's going on? That is also a good articulation of this. It could also be for attention. I don't know. But yeah, no, Flaccid, for sure. They're always going to be, there are going to be Marines, there are going to be soldiers, there are going to be Navy, what are they? Seamen? There's going to be airmen. There's always going to be someone within the military organization that's just fucking trash, right? But to say that unironically sex workers deserve more money and respect than people who serve the country is pretty pathetic. She says sex workers do more for this country than any cop and are braver than any U.S. Marine. So if you look at like some of the comments, I love this one. People like legitimately are in here saying like, seriously though, like why? Like on a level that makes me try and understand your reasoning here, your insanity. Like let me actually understand why. She gets to it down here. Yeah, so this guy literally just says, please explain, right? She goes, the military murders people to enrich oligarchs. All cops are bastards and sex workers do socially vital work without any of the money, prestige, or resources of the former. Hope that helps. Now, it is objective. It is objectively true that sex workers make, on average, probably, well, I shouldn't say probably, because that means it's not objective. John Baker says, what about marine sex workers? That there are those too, which I'll get to in a second. But if you looked at your average private first class or lance corporal's paycheck, you would be astonished with how little it would be below the poverty line, legitimately, of how little those dudes get paid. As opposed to a sex worker who shows her butthole to a bunch of randos and gets tons of money. What do we see on Twitter every single day? Hoes that are the OnlyFans hoes that are going like, I made $100,000 in 2 hours from showing my butthole. Like, are we really going to debate this topic? how is this even this is a laughable concept, right? This is a hot take from this person. I don't think my take is hot. Like I would say that most people probably agree that Marines deserve more money and more praise than a sex worker. I would truly hope. Now, here's the thing. So, sub paragraph thesis A1. Yeah. The exception to the rule, because we've been talking about that, exceptions to the rules and people who are outliers. There are individuals who are trafficked to be sex workers, and that is horrifying and horrible. That is scary. It's sad. It's unjust. I hope that we can all agree that like human traffickers are scum of the earth, right? Like child grapers and human traffickers, scum of the earth, literal cockroaches. I don't think anyone has, except for those two individuals, I don't think anyone has an issue with saying that, right? Like even Gandhi would be like, okay, yeah, these guys are bad people. And so, sorry, I'm laughing at you, Flaccid, because I just read your comment. With that being said, and with how awful that is, I do not want to lump those individuals in with this conversation, right? Because this individual, whoever this person is, 5 energy beings, an anti-fascist t-shirt, which is a librarian, they, them, boy, chick, boy, dyke, itinerant dweller of the butch borderlands, politics, fandom, and queerness. Black joy matters, Black lives matter. This individual, Chalachik, I think is their name. No, by the way, do not go attack this person or harass this person. Leave them alone. Same with Brianna Wu. Leave these people alone. I'm pretty sure that I can say that most people would disagree with this individual here. Like I said, I would only hope. Because yeah, if we're talking sex workers that are on OnlyFans that are making exorbitant amounts of money for sticking their tongue out, soliciting that they could potentially be having sex with them, or just plain out having sex on camera and shit. Like, that's not, I'm sorry, but that's not courageous. Your standard run-of-the-mill OnlyFans, hoe, I don't see how in any way that's courageous. Is it giving to society? Most people may say yes. I say no, because like I said, Christian conservative. So my view is that they're polluting the sanctity of sex, and they're polluting the internet with weird sexual fetishes and stuff, and that, like, cool, do that on your own time, and you do that. I'm not trying to judge you, but at the same time, you should not be praised for that action. So really, there's not honestly much to say about this. I was literally just more stunned and shocked that I was like, there's a motherfucker out here who actually believes this shit. One of the comments that I think I read, it said, sex workers do more for this country because they give people orgasms. I think that was one of their points that they were trying to make, to say that, like, the reason why they do more for the country is that sex workers provide more orgasms per Marine, which is debatable, by the way, because lots of Marines go out there and do their thing with random individuals. Josh, don't tell people that I'm your #1 subscriber on your OnlyFans account. You're not just a regular run-of-the-mill OnlyFans hoe to me, all right? But yeah, this one, like I said, this was just absolutely wild. I was stunned by the amount of stupidity and mental illness put forth on this tweet here. Cajun says, good stream, Max. Gotta go to bed. Good night, everyone. Dude, thank you for the $4.99. I greatly appreciate it. Get some sleep, brother. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. This one is for you. Oh man, well, I think that's about all the energy I have for tonight. And I have to finish. I have like one more section on my course paper. This was supposed to be a course-long paper that started in September, and I waited till last Monday, so 6 days ago, to start it. It is about 6,000 words and over 20 pages long so far. I still have like my conclusion and like one more section to like finish everything off, and I should be done. And hopefully, I will be able to wrap that bad Larry up and turn it in this week. But yeah, I'm gonna try and do that after this stream, which means that I gotta probably pop a monster, and all that good stuff. But yeah, let's last 5 minutes of the stream, I'll check in with you guys and see what y'all are up to, because I haven't been able to get to the chat as much as I'd like to tonight. So thank you guys for hanging in there with me and being part of the conversation. Uncle Jack does more for America than anyone. We know you're the top tier supporters of Max's OnlyFans. Him and Flaccid, I'd say, are pretty top tier. It's incredibly naive on the part of young women to believe that sex working is empowering to women. Oh, Jay, do not get me started. Especially when the last girl I dated would lecture me on the fact that I was objectifying her or that I was over-sexualizing her, but then was totally fine with sex workers. What the fuck kind of logic is that? What in your right mind makes you think that sex workers are not being objectified and sexually or over-sexualized? That men are literally going up to random women and saying, "Do you have an OnlyFans?" Because that's how normalized it is. OnlyFans has become so normalized that your average person, some random chick in Target, could have an OnlyFans and no one would know, except her, her loyal butthole followers. And that's the thing. Imagine seeing an OnlyFans girl in real life and you're like, "I've seen your butthole." So yeah, that mindset is complete brain rot to me. I will never accept it. I will never understand where that comes from. The fact that women who are part of this feminist movement will say, that they want to be empowered, that sex work is empowering. How? When sex work is essentially allowing men to objectify you for money. For like, men are now probably utilizing OnlyFans more, or porn more, just in general, than actually getting in a real relationship. Because why do they can go play video games. Why would they could spend $100 on a dinner to take you out on a date Or they could spend $10 a month to see a girl's butthole every day. Like, guys are opting in to objectify you more often because you are an OnlyFans hoe. So how in the world is that empowering? How in the world are you going to ever find someone who is interested in you when they can literally save more money, objectify more women? It's a downhill slope, and it's just absolutely insane. Texas Wolfman, that's a great point. If they count the orgasms, they also need to count the STDs too, because that is brutal. Oh my gosh, Rachel, what are you doing, girl? You didn't have to do that. Another super chat from Dr. Rachel for $10. She goes, good luck with the rest of your coursework. Hoping this donation is enough for a video clip of shirtless Max. Oh, I told you guys that's for the OnlyFans account. I just got done with my OnlyFans rant. Come on. No, that is super kind of you. Thank you so much for the $10. That is awesome. I will give you this guy. I pay a lot to get access to the MVP foot cam, says Flaccid. True. That there is them California girls for you. Josh, that's why I need to come out and hang out with you, brother. You need to get yourself a Floridian or a Texan girl, Max. A good girl with morals. Listen, I'm not saying that, that experience sucked. Dating that individual made me feel like shit all the time, constantly bickering and arguing about different political ideals and shit. It was a nightmare, and it was exhausting. And so I've just most people have those ideals here in California, and I don't want, it's very, very difficult to find someone who has the same set of morals, values, whatnot. So how much has morphed into, do you have OnlyFans? How much has morphed into, do you have an OnlyFans? I might have missed something there. See, yeah, Rachel, that's what I'm saying. You've been asked about an OnlyFans account, right? Yep. In the end, they say down with the patriarchy, but they are allowing men to objectify them and thereby use them. Exactly. Great point, Mags. Exactly. Video games and the boys is better than all women, says Flaccid. Hey, I mean, I didn't say it, but I may agree with it. I can't tell you how many people I know from LA that I stopped following on Twitter because they got an OnlyFans. Like, I didn't need to see that. It's going to be hard to forget when I see you again. Josh, you never realize what you're missing until you've seen it, and then you're like, maybe I didn't need to see that. A former friend of mine is a pole dancer. She asked me if I wanted to work at the same place she does. She said she'll teach me how to clap my booty, and I politely declined. I mean, know me, if you did learn that, you could probably share it with like your boyfriend or your husband or something. I'm sure he would love it. But like just for like random strangers, it might not be like the most enticing offer. I don't know. Okay, so we are at 2 hours. I know I said that we were going to go 3 hours tonight, trying to cover all these topics, but I am, speaking of buttholes, I'm pooped. So I am out for the night. Man, this was fantastic. You guys are awesome. I was looking at the chat and seeing different conversations happening, and I appreciate you guys being involved and engaged. This was definitely one of my more spicy takes. This was definitely a video that is not for everyone and will probably get me in a lot of trouble with people. And it's probably super polarizing, and it sucks because I would love to, you know, I would love to have commonality with everyone, but and to be liked by everyone, right? Everyone wants to be loved and everyone wants to be liked. But the truth is, it just, with my ideals, I've been more outspoken with them as of late, especially here on the live streams, like more so here than I have on some of the videos. But the videos are pretty spicy too. I don't know. But anyway, with that being said, I appreciate you guys being open to a lot of this conversation. I appreciate you guys engaging and commenting with some of this stuff. Because yeah, like I said, sometimes I can be closed-minded too, and then I might not see something or might not realize something, and then someone mentions, "Hey, have you thought about this?" You know, and that gives me that allows me to humble myself, allows me to take a closer look at what I'm saying and what I'm doing. So this is definitely going to be spicy and polarizing, and I hope it didn't burn any bridges or offend anyone. But then again, language itself is pretty offensive. You know what I mean? Just sometimes by existing and sharing your experiences and sharing your thoughts, it's pretty offensive to people. That's just the nature of language, you know? People aren't always going to agree, and I have to get more used to that, right? So... Great rants, Max, says Jacob. Thanks, dude. Yeah, no, truly they were rants tonight, for sure. Truly an excellent stream, Max. Love these topics. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been stewing on these for a little while now. Had these in the back pocket. Have a good night, MVP. Thanks, Soul. I appreciate it, dude. That's what friends are for, Zaxx. That's what friends are for. Cheers, says Josh. I'm heading out, Max. This is a great stream, and the chat, y'all were lit. Have a good night, everyone. No bridges burned here. Cheers. Well, good to hear, Naomi. Thank you. I'm glad. Polarizing, save that for the paywall. Punkwaddle, maybe. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are members on my chats here on the live streams on Sunday evenings. So if you guys who are members, if you guys want to see more like hot takes, more polarizing stuff that maybe I could share more so with like members, I don't know, maybe that might be something you guys want. So let me know in the chat or in the comments or whatnot. So all right, as always, thank you guys so much for being here. Reject modernity, embrace your legacy, and I will see you guys in the next video or in the next stream or wherever I get to see you guys, because it's always an honor. Always an honor. All right, take care, guys. Have a good night.